What you see here is a brand new BMW CE02. Now this is made right here in India by BMW's longtime partner TVS Motors, and it's not the same as the TVS X which was unveiled last year. This is an all-new scooter. So let's quickly take a look at what all is offered with this scooter. We also took it for a short ride within Gurgaon. Of course, that was not a long time to gauge the full performance, but we have our first ride impressions packed in this video as well. So let's get going. Of course, we have to start this video with the design of the CE02 because this is quite a radical looking thing. And of course, it is more of a form following function sort of thing because this is kind of bare basic, it's minimalistic, but it's also forward looking at the same time. Now let's quickly tell you all the highlights, all the design highlights that this scooter packs. Now first of all, you get a steel frame which is hidden underneath. Of course you can't see that, but again, this is quite modern. And then at the back you have a single-sided swing arm, looks quite cool. It is matched with these big 14-inch wheels. They are quite fat and they look quite good. The wheelbase is around 1365 millimeters, which make it more or less the same as a BMW R1300 GS. So it is quite a long scooter and it has a very substantial footprint. Now at the front you get these LED headlamps. They look quite old school in that sense. They are quite squarish because usually what we see in all the modern scooters, all the modern bikes, it is quite edgy, but this is not like that. This is quite boxy at the front. And these gold forks, of course, they add to the overall aesthetic appeal. Now these are inverted forks, and like I said, the wheel at the front is also 14-inch. You also get these disc brakes. It overall looks quite cool. It looks very modern, like I said. It doesn't feel like it belongs to 2024. This looks more like 2030. So it has a concept motorcycle look for sure. Of course, it is a very long scooter, like I said, and it also weighs quite a lot because it has a heavy battery pack. Now, this one weighs 142 kilograms, but thankfully the seat height is only 745 millimeters, and that makes it quite accessible. Now, of course, when you ride it, you don't really feel that weight, but there's no denying that when you come to a halt, when you are waiting at a junction or traffic lights, you'll feel the weight between your legs, as it's not a light scooter, not like your usual Activas or something which weigh around 110 kilograms. So that battery pack is still there. But of course, if you have to talk about the balance, it is quite kick-ass because it feels like a typical BMW product. It feels like it's well engineered and there are no compromises on that front. Now, the other thing is, of course, the battery pack, it's mounted here, and these are two battery packs. This is not just one. So these are both 1.96 kilowatt hour. So that makes it a total of around 3.9 kilowatt hour. And this battery pack is connected to an air-cooled motor, which is on the side. And that motor is rated at around 15 bhp and it produces 55 Newton meters of torque. Now the top speed on this scooter is 95 kilometers per hour, and the range, as BMW claims, is 108 kilometers. But of course, again, we didn't get to test it. We only got to ride this scooter. Actually, BMW doesn't want you to call it a scooter, but we only got to ride it for around 10 minutes. And in that moment, I think the range dropped by 13%. But of course, there are 3 different modes, so the range also changes. These modes are basically, there is flash, surf and flow. So depending on each mode, you have different levels of regen and different levels of performance as well. So in, I think, flash, it's fastest self. That's where the acceleration is completely unhinged, and that's where the scooter really goes. Now again, like I said, we didn't get to test it much. Scooter belongs in the urban environment, and that's where we rode it today because we were in peak hour Gurgaon traffic. So exploiting those quick gaps, it comes very easy, it comes very handy, this acceleration, the way the scooter picks up. Now the great thing about the CE02 is how manageable it feels despite its weight, despite its long wheelbase, and despite its big wheels as well. The steering is not at all heavy. It is quite agile, it turns in very quickly, and like I said, it is quite enjoyable when you are riding it in the city. Of course, we only rode it for 10 minutes, but that was enough to give us a taste of its handling and performance. Of course, I would want to spend more time with the scooter because I really want to check that range, because considering that it has a lot of performance, you're not going to ride it very gently, you are going to go full throttle everywhere. And I think that's where the range of 108 kilometers, which is also claimed, it will drop significantly. But again, that's a discussion for another day. The other thing is, of course, the suspension. It is an EV, so you can feel it is quite firm, and it has a lot of weight, of course. But on smooth roads, you don't really feel it. You feel it's very well done. But the moment you hit a pothole, and you hit a pothole suddenly, in the sense you're not planning to and there is some undulation on the road, you definitely feel the suspension is a bit jittery, and you definitely feel it in the whole scooter. It's not just one particular area, but you feel the whole scooter kind of shaking and moving. So that's primarily down to its heavy weight. That's what I think. But at the same time, if you go over a rough patch of road, if let's say you take it at a higher speed, like most of the Gurgaon roads, they are quite bumpy. So in that regard, it is again quite well damped, and it's quite absorbent in the sense the suspension always moves. It's not settled at any point in time because it is quite firm, but it feels very manageable in the sense it doesn't affect the handling of the C02. So in that regard, that's where you feel that typical, BMW sort of bit, because the suspension is firm and it's not uncomfortable at all. So I think that aspect I really liked it because it feels very mature in that sense. Now, in terms of features and equipment, of course, this is a modern and futuristic EV. So first of all, it gets this keyless ride. You don't have to carry an ignition key. You just have to keep it in your pocket and the scooter will automatically turn on once you press this power button here. Now, of course, everything else is pretty much basic because you expect these sort of features. Now, let's start with the riding modes. There are three. You have flash, you have flow, and you have surf. Now the flash one, which I showed first, it's actually optional. It's not standard on all the scooters. This you'll get in the Highline variant. This screen looks quite cool. It is very minimalistic and it goes with the overall theme of the scooter. So I quite like that. And in terms of electronics, you also get region modes, but they are not adjustable in the sense they are in the modes itself. So whichever mode you choose, it changes automatically. And it also gets stability control, which is traction control. And there's a lot of power going to the rear wheels. So of course, you need that electronic nanny to help you be on the road to keep it all rubber side down. Now, as for other optional extras, you also get this button here. These are for heated grips. So these are also not standard. You get it in the top end variant as well. On the left, you have all these toggle switches. So you have to shuffle through the menu. You can do that. These are a lot of buttons. And there is one more button which is for reverse. So this is the reverse mode on the scooter. So if you want to reverse the scooter, you just have to press this button and you have to accelerate. So it goes back. And I think you can only do close to 2 or 3 kilometers per hour. It won't go flat out. But the torque changes. So in case there is an incline, it will climb up as well. So it kind of alters the torque. But in terms of speed, it won't cross 3 kilometers per hour. So again, quite a handy feature, but we have seen it in many other EVs as well. Now, the one thing that BMW has kind of skimped on is the ABS, because it only gets single channel ABS. And that is quite a miss given the positioning and I'm sure the pricing of the scooter. It's not going to be a cheap scooter. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think that is a big miss and I don't know why they missed out on that. The C02 launches on the 1st of October and that's when the prices will be out. Now, the thing is, it's not going to be affordable because this is a BMW. Now, compared to the C04, which is a CBU, this is going to be, of course, a lot more affordable to the masses who have that kind of money. Now, again, our guess is that it will be priced between 6 to 8 lakh rupees, considering it's made right here in India by TVS Motors. So we are expecting BMW to price it a little more aggressively as compared to the other products. But again, it will be a niche offering for sure. Now, these are our first impressions of the C02. Of course, we would like to ride it for a longer duration, which we will very soon. At the same time, we'll also be featuring the C02 in our anniversary track day special, and that'll be at the Bhatt International Circuit. So if you want to know how sporty this scooter is to ride, well, that's the time when you and we will find out if it is a BMW in the true sense. So stay tuned for our anniversary track day special and stay tuned for our long ride review of the C02. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.